Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 7. Can you believe that you are almost done with your finance class? You guys are doing a great job trugging right along, getting things completed. So thank you very much for that. Again, enjoyed the majority of the presentations that were given to us, the last live session, and I think one of them, in particular, looking at the school lunch program, will be helpful in having that prerequisite or pre-understanding of a little bit about the program as you read a little bit more this week. So, reminder that we do have one more presentation that is being given in week 8. Note that there will be 2 sessions in week 8. So whatever the group chooses together to whatever time frame they give their presentation, that group will see it, but it will also be recorded as well. So if you'd like to see their presentation. So week 7, let's talk about it. We're going to get into, I know it says cafeteria, but really looking at the school nutrition or lunch program, looking at the federal guidelines as well as the state guidelines. They coincide with each other because the state receives their funds from the federal government. And then looking at maintenance and operations, how to budget for facility cost, deferred maintenance. That's that ongoing changing of carpets, painting, upkeep of a facility that's deferred over time, not anything that you can constantly do once a year, but looking at how to plan that out and try and budget for that. So that really is if you're looking to go into the business services office, understanding that, or a director of maintenance and operations. But as a principal, you might need to know that as well when making your plans, because if you don't have plans, even for your own maintenance of your own campus, working with a PTA or a PTO in the campus pride, you might need to have that understanding of how to defer it out or break it down over time. So that's the focus of this week. So we're going to ask you to please make sure that you're reading chapters 13 and 14 in the school finance text, as well as looking at the workbook in the CD or the online, let's be honest, component of taking the quizzes to just check your understanding. Then, as always, we continue a conversation in LCFF by just giving you a look at this webpage from EdData. That's their understanding that they want to share with the community and how to look up data and understand those components. So this is just a website to explore, knowing that there are EdData reports that can be used for helping a school. I'm thinking specifically more for your school and financing, which is assignment number 5. This might be an interesting piece to try and look up as well. The other program or web page that you'll visit is the National School Lunch Program, the California web page, that gives you a lot of information and a lot of different links about the program and understanding how schools get paid or districts get paid, who qualifies, what's the nutrition guidelines that have to be followed. All that to say, this particular website is going to support you when you get into the discussion board for this week. So the discussion board is going to ask you to share your understanding of the school lunch program and then explain how somebody qualifies for that program, and then those individuals that qualify, what other aspects do they influence in looking at school budgeting as well. So really want to make sure that you're clicking around on this website so that way you get your understanding before going into the discussion board. Yes, you'll get some of it from reading in the text, but this gives you some more direct information from the state of California. So either are great citing sources for your discussion board. Christian message, as always, is an optional piece, but looking at making sure that we're balanced in life and leading with our integrity. Just a reminder that this Christian message might speak to you on that direction. Then the last thing is the planning ahead. So next week is our last week, week 8. There will be a live session in week 8, which means there's no discussion board for that week. There is a discussion board for this week, week 7, but not in week 8. But you do have your final assignment, which is assignment number 5. It happens to be the signature assignment for the class as well. So I'm just going to click over to the descriptor. And again, it's the mock budget planning. I've tried to remind you to make sure that you've talked with your administrator, because you're going to mock up a budget for your site that you're currently at for the 1920 school year. If you look at it, you're looking at your site's current budget and then interview your principal for how they plan and prep the budget, and based on their current data, prepare a mock budget for next year in approximately 5 pages. you're going to create that mock plan. Try to address the areas that you identify as areas of need or equity, and also take into consideration the implementation of Common Core of the 21st century learning skills that are needed. You hopefully have already conducted an interview to have this conversation, but if you haven't, now is the time to get their insight, so that way you're not doing it on your own and mocking it up. Taking their insight is a perfect piece. Now, please know the signature assignments are all expected to be submitted in a Word document. So if you've been typing in Google, this time I cannot accept a Google link. You can convert a Google document into a Word document, but now some of that formatting is an issue, so you'll want to go back and double check that, or maybe just do this whole assignment in a Word document as well. You make that choice, but please know that it must end up submitted as a Word document. That's for the checks and balances that the university goes through and making sure that we're following through and what we're expecting of all master's level students for each course. The other important thing here is know that you'll read in the descriptor that you can submit a spreadsheet with the assignment as well. I just suggest you look at the art of inserting tables into an APA document. That might be easier, so that way you focus on core areas, or you can break it up apart and put a spreadsheet in as well. That gives the whole mocked budget. Please know for the paper itself, you're going to definitely want to use headers, maybe to talk about employment or personnel, talk about instructional materials, technology, or maybe your focus areas. So just use the data to guide you in that, but know as you're writing the paper, use headers to break that apart. Remember header 1, header 2, header 3, use those. That reminder to you though, when looking at headers, a header 2 level is okay to use throughout a paper unless header 3 is associating with something that connects with the header 2. Otherwise it can be header 2 throughout the paper, except for that header 1 that begins the starting of the paper. If you need more help with headers, go into the APA manual or Purdue OWL or all of our other resources. So that is the paper that again is due in week 8 by that Friday. I'm pretty sure it is March the 1st, but it is due that Friday for sure. I will see you all next week. Looking forward to reading your discussion boards. If you have any questions, as always, don't hesitate to call, to text, or to email, and I will try and get back to you as quickly as possible. Have a great week. God bless.